Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to find out how to get input from the user. So right now we are writing our code and then displaying it here. But what if we wanted to interact with the user? For example, I want to prompt the user for their first name. So I can say puts, what is your first name? So the way to do that is by using this method called gets and then chomp on it. So gets.chomp, okay? And we want to get this input and store it somewhere so we can reference it. So I'll say first name equals gets.chomp. If I run this, check it out. What is your first name? Not sure. Great, that's the end of the program. I'm not really doing anything with it. What if I wanted to display it? I can say puts thank you. You said your first name, right? And then if I run it, you said your first name is Mashur. Perfect. Okay, so using this, you can get input from the user and then run methods on it or do all kinds of other things with it. One thing to remember at this time is that this gets.chomp, it's gonna get you a string. So if you're trying to do something with a number, for example, puts enter a number to multiply by 2, right? And then you can say something like input equals gets.chomp, and then puts input times 2. If I do this, let's see what happens. I'm gonna code this out. All right, run, enter a number to multiply by 2. If I do 5, you see it gives me 55. 5 times 2 is not 55. What it did is it did string concatenation on it, all right? So input was 5, which is a string, times 2, basically got 2 instances of 5. So 5 plus 5. And if you have 2 strings that are 5 and you add it together, it simply gives you string concatenation to show 55. So in this case, what you'd have to do is you'd have to convert this input to a number or an integer. So what I can do is input dot to_i, which would convert it to an integer. Now if I run this, enter a number to multiply by 2, you can say 10. There you go. Multiplied by 2 is 20. So that works. All right. So something to keep in mind when you use gets.chomp, you're going to get string back. Okay. So I'm going to code this out. And in case you're wondering how I'm doing this shortcut, if you highlight something and then go command and then slash, it uncomments it. And then if you highlight it, command slash again, it comments it out. All right. So it's a pretty neat shortcut. So I'm going to uncomment this. What is your first name? And for the second one, I'll say, what is your last name? I can say last name equals gets.chomp. And then run it. Right, so I could enter first name, last name. We have arrived at your homework assignment. Using what you've learned here, you need to make this program called Analyzer. And I'll show you here in my local development. If I run Analyzer, Ruby analyzer.rb, so the name of the file needs to be analyzer.rb. If I run it, it says enter your first name, Mashur, enter your last name, and then it gives me your full name is this. So it's going to take first name, last name, and it has to print out the full name. Then it says your full name reversed is this, so the full name reversed. And then it tells me the number of characters in the name. And you have to skip the space in between, okay? So that's your homework assignment. It's a pretty simple one, but you have to use what you've learned in terms of working with strings and running methods on the inputs and the like, okay? Once you've completed it, please go to the Q&A of the course for this lecture and then post your code to the Q&A. So myself, the TA, and other students can take a look at your code. And One way to do it is you can simply copy paste your code from here, from your program, or from here you can simply copy paste it. Or the other thing is, if you want to post a code gist, if you don't know what gist is, this is a good Googling opportunity. You can use gist and write your code there and simply paste the link to the gist. All right, but preferably just copy the code from here and post it to the Q&A. All right, great. Good luck on your homework assignment, and I'll see you in the next video.